right, as early as tomorrow, NASA could launch the Artemis II mission. This will send 4 astronauts on a 10-day mission around the moon. It'll be the first lunar flyby with astronauts in half a century. And this will pave the way for future Artemis launches that will eventually put humans back on the moon as early as 2030. But once they do, how will they be able to get around on the lunar surface? Well, that is the question this simulator is trying to help solve. A team at the University of Wisconsin-Madison has been partnering with the University of Iowa to build a lunar terrain vehicle. Why the University of Iowa, though? Well, they have the National Advanced Driving Simulator right there on the side of your screen, which is one of the largest in the entire world. But what does it take to design a moon vehicle, and how does that simulator work? For that, we are so honored to be joined by Dr. Chris Schwarz, Director of Engineering and Modeling Research at UI's Driving Safety Research Institute. Chris, thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm so excited to talk to you. How long has this partnership been going on between you guys and the University of Wisconsin-Madison?
Yeah, we've known them for a long time, and the PI, the principal investigator there, was a grad student here at Iowa when I was a grad student. But we've been working on this project for about 3 years.
All right, so bring us into your world. How on earth do you simulate the surface of the moon in a lab?
Oh, it all starts with the computer models, and that's the part that Wisconsin is bringing to our simulator. Very highly detailed computer models that can do vehicle dynamics, very precise and accurate, and even to the extent of modeling the terrain, the lunar dirt, which is called regolith. And all of that together is what you need to get a feel for what it would be like to drive on the moon.
And what makes this simulator at the University of Iowa so unique? We mentioned it's one of the largest in the world. What else about it is so special?
Yeah, well, its size really is the main thing. It has a very large motion base that moves around a room about the size of a basketball court. And because of that, we can do maneuvers with cars and rovers that are really not possible on a lot of other simulators. And so when you have the motion cues, then you can feel what the effect of changing the gravity to 1/6 G, which is what you're going to feel on the moon. Everything, the car would get a little bouncier on the lunar surface, and the handling of the vehicle would be a lot different. And those are things that you really can't get from looking up at numbers in a simulation. But on a big simulator like ours, you can feel it.
So how do you do that? I mean, how do you work against the moon's lower gravity? What needs to be taken into account in the design for this vehicle?
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it even before it ever gets to our simulator. And of course, they do a lot of testing of these vehicles out in the desert. The wheels have to be different because you're not inflating tires like normal cars. They're usually like just sort of a mesh kind of a wheel because you can't afford to get a flat tire on the moon. And then the weight and the weight distribution, you're going to have people in there, but they're going to be astronauts fully enclosed in their suits. And so the mass and the distribution of the mass in that vehicle is going to be completely different. And who knows when that vehicle might tip over if you go, over the edge of a crater or go onto a hill. Then the intuition that we have driving our cars for when you might lose control and roll over is not going to serve you at all driving on the moon. And so they need to develop a new intuition.
Well, speaking of our cars, I'm thinking about, not today because it was very foggy and rainy this morning, but the past few days when I've been driving to work in the morning, the sun is shining so directly into my eyes. And I've been thinking about how on the moon, the light is so much brighter, and then you have these extreme dark shadows in places where the sunlight's not reaching. So how do you account for all of that?
Yeah, you really can't even imagine how bright it is. They're going to be at the South Pole. The sun is always going to be right down on the horizon, shining at you. And so the shadows that it creates are going to be possibly hundreds of feet long. and the sunlight will be brighter than anything we've ever experienced on Earth. But the shadows will also be darker than any darkness we've ever experienced here on Earth, and it can switch instantly. And so think about looking at your screen and then taking it outside in the sunlight and having that challenge. They're going to have that challenge, tenfold from that. And so, how do you even design instruments that they can read in that rover when you have those changes of sunlight? And then they have their helmet that's shielding them from the sunlight, so it might be dark. So there's all of these factors that come into play. And we can't do everything perfectly in the simulator because you'd have to shine a very bright light source that could even blind them. But we could get close, and we can research questions like that.
So although the work that you guys are doing right now is not going to be for this Artemis 2 mission that's potentially taking off as early as tomorrow, I am so curious before I let you go, what are you and your team most looking forward to when it comes to the Artemis 2 mission and this flyby of the moon?
I think the Artemis 2 is going to be just a milestone. It's the first step over the next several years of us getting back towards and on the moon. So I'm just very excited. I was only a baby the last time we went. So this time I get to enjoy the whole experience, and I'm going to be watching.
We'll be watching too. Dr. Schwartz, thank you so much for your time today. I so appreciate this.
Thank you.
And for you guys at home, if you want to watch the launch, we're going to be streaming it. The launch of the Artemis 2 mission will be available on our News 8 Plus app. Just download to your TV and you can watch for free.